6 years into the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals, global leaders are scaling up activities aimed at accelerating the attainment of the global agenda. Evidence-based reports on the performance are also being generated and presented through the National Voluntary Review on SDGs mechanism to the UN High-Level Political Forum on Sustainable Development. In realizing this, periodic reporting and proper tracking of the progress is key. It was against this background that the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Sustainable Development Goals in 2019 embarked on the process for independent evaluation of some of the key priority SDGs. As one of the frontline countries implementing the SDGs, Nigeria has not only presented 2 voluntary national reviews to the UN High-Level Political Forum on Sustainable Development, but has also led the pack in conducting independent evaluations of some of the key priority SDGs.
Nigeria is now on the global map as the first country in the global south to undertake an independent evaluation on the SDGs. Just 5 years. Just 5 years into its implementation. We've been recording first and first and first. All thanks to all of you, especially our partners, for your commitment and understanding. As you may be aware, Nigeria was invited to make presentation on this process at the last 3 United Nations High-Level Political Forum in 2019, 2020, and 2021. We have also shared insights on our methodological approach to country-led SDG evaluation at the International Development Evaluation Association Conference in Prague, Czech Republic in 2019, and the Africa Region Voluntary National Review meetings in Addis Ababa in 2020. Taken together, this process has now put Nigeria on a role model in country-led SDG evaluation. In demonstrating this leadership, Nigeria, through OSAP SDG and the permanent mission to the United Nations, is now leading other members' countries to sponsor a standalone United Nations General Assembly resolution on country-led evaluation of the SDGs at the last meeting on August 30th, 2021. We have 60 countries in support of this initiative as we speak.
The report of the independent evaluation, which focused on Goal 3, ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all at all ages, and Goal 4, ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all, was recently validated by stakeholders at a review workshop in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State.
It is pertinent, therefore, to say that independent evaluation of our priority SDG is from the purpose of learning and evidence-based policy formulation as we move into the critical scaling phase in the implementation of SDG in Nigeria. As envisaged in the Nigeria SDG Implementation Plan 2020 to 2030 going forward, we will be conducting periodic evaluation of priority SDG, and key findings will be used to strengthen the empirical evidence in our subsequent voluntary national review and ensure appropriate policy are put in place to address and identify challenges. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the challenges that we face in the effort to achieve SDGs are numerous, complex, and multifaceted. However, with all stakeholders working together in synergy, we will certainly overcome the challenges. With the realignment of the national statistical system, going forward, we will be able to track our progress towards the achievement of SDG on an annual basis. This is to demonstrate our personal commitment
The Senior Special Assistant to the President on SDGs, Princess Adejoke Orilokbe Adefolire, noted that the purpose of the independent evaluation of SDGs was to ensure solid evidence-based learning and reporting that will provide solid analytical answers to the why and how of challenges against key priority SDGs to be addressed within large strategic debate and consensual agreement.
The essence of all of this is to use evaluation to support our policy program, to make it an evidence-based report that captures what we have, the plan that we have as a government, both at the sub-national and the national, and to also see how we can do something differently and to be able to cover every woman aspect in terms of getting the women involved, getting the young people involved, getting civil society organization involved, getting academia involved, and getting the victim themselves involved. Those people that are out of school, those people that are outside the health insurance coverage, and to be able to ensure that what we are doing speaks to the need of people and we leave no one behind. So we have done evaluation on SDG-4 and we're validating SDG-3 now. Putting this together will make Nigeria another first in the global south as a country that have completed the evaluation of some segment of the goals of the SDGs. So we're on track despite the COVID challenges, we're on track and we continue to do our best to ensure that the policy programs are aligned to the national government policy programs and plans and to the sub-national government so that we can be on the same page in ensuring that the target of 2030 will be a reality.
The independent evaluation of SDG-3 and SDG-4 were commissioned by the government through the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on SDGs, with technical and financial support from the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, for the purpose of learning, accountability, and evidence-based voluntary national review with specific objectives.
Recall that following the adoption of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development by world leaders in September 2015, Nigeria acted very quickly in the overall implementation of the SDGs. And one of the key mandates of the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on SDGs has to do with monitoring, evaluation, and reporting for the global goals. So to ensure that we have evidence-based voluntary national review reporting for the SDGs, we felt in the wisdom of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on SDGs that we need to begin to evaluate policies that are linked to the priority sustainable development goals in Nigeria. So I recall that way back in January 2019, we embarked on this process with a multi-stakeholder technical working group on SDG evaluation in Nigeria, having to undertake capacity building for evaluation practitioners in Nigeria and trying to begin to do a country-led evaluation of the SDGs. So we began that process almost 3 years ago. So during that capacity building workshop, we used the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan, ERGP, 2017 to 2020, being the medium-term national development plan for Nigeria, to prioritize 3 SDGs, SDG-1 on no poverty, SDG-3 on quality, health, and well-being, and SDG-4 on qualitative and inclusive education. So we began that process, and with the technical and financial support of United Nations Children Fund in Nigeria, we've been able to undertake successfully the evaluation of SDG-3 and SDG-4, and now we are here trying to review and validate this report. But the process has been quite rewarding for Nigeria. Through this process, we have now become role model in country-led evaluation of the SDGs. In fact, we are the first country in the global south to have embarked on country-led evaluation of the SDGs. And through that process, we are now leading about 70 member countries to even promote United Nations General Assembly resolution on country-led evaluation of the SDGs.
The review and validation workshop provided the relevant stakeholders the opportunity to discuss the outcome of the Zero Draft Report and review the findings, recommendations while using the workshop to get the buy-in and acceptance of key stakeholders who are the implementers of the key recommendations.
The documents that have been reviewed are basically an independent evaluation by independent consultants. Okay, we're going to look at the key findings, the key recommendations, and the challenges, and the policy recommendation. What this exercise will do is, going forward, when we do our national voluntary review on the sustainable development, we have readily available resource, evidence to present. But more importantly, we can use the key findings and the key recommendations for policy advocacy around the global goals, and how best both national and subnational governments can work together to address the key challenges identified.
The objectives of the evaluation for Goal 3, according to Princess Adejoke Orelope Adefolire, are as follows. Assess the relevance and the coherence of the National Strategic Health Development Plan 2, NSHDP2, vis-a-vis SDG-3 targets related to the maternal health and child survival, in line with the SDG principles of universality, equity, leaving no one behind, human rights, and sustainability. Determine the theory of change, TLC outcomes, intended and unintended outcomes and impact, in the implementation of health strategic flagship programs to improve healthcare lives as spelled out in SDG-3 and NSHDP-1 and 2. Analyze how the program strategies and supporting interventions combine to contribute to the observed changes. Identify key driving factors, explanations, as well as strengths and weaknesses, bottlenecks in the implementation of selected strategic health programs, with focus on the 3 main strategic interventions of the TOC related to the leadership and governance, partnership and participation, and investment used, and the organization and provision of healthcare packages services. Draw lessons learned that could be applicable to Nigeria and other countries in the region regarding the achievement of SDG-3. Generate key policy strategic recommendations to be validated by all stakeholders to address the identified challenges and bottlenecks that will help government at all levels and development partners to accelerate progress and achieve SDG-3 on healthy lives in Nigeria. The Senior Special Assistant to the President on SDGs also listed the objectives of the evaluation for Goal 4 to include: measure the extent to which the Education Sector Strategic Plan 2016 to 2019 ESSP has been effectively implemented with regards to providing access, equity, and quality basic education to girls and boys. Assess the level of completion for girls and boys at basic education. Determine the extent to which effective learning outcomes have been achieved. Driving factors, explanations, and AMP, strength of success and weaknesses, bottlenecks of shortfalls of results in the implementation of selected strategic education. Provide strategic recommendations that will help identified evaluation users like government, development actors, and states to accelerate progress and achieve SDG-4 in Nigeria.
We had to look at the national policies on education, the national policies on health, and how they speak to the vision and aspiration of the SDGs, and that is even the main criteria for embarking on that exercise. And then when we look at that, education and health are on the concurrent legislative list, the responsibility between the federal and the state government. So we had to select about 6 states in each case to embark on a comparative, evaluation, so that we have those states that are doing well, those states that are not doing so well, and those states that are doing badly in terms of these indicators, and we try to deepen the evidence in all the key findings.
The Zero Draft Evaluation Report was subsequently validated after a critical review by a carefully selected participants, which includes members of the Technical Working Group, representatives of line ministries of Education and Health, National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, the 6 case study states ministries of Education, Health and Planning, Universal Basic Education Commission at the national and sub-national level, UNICEF, UNDP, and the academia.
Nigeria is the first country in the world who has decided to do this evaluation, and UNICEF is very happy to provide technical financial support to government Nigeria, working, under closely with OSAP and all ministry and partner to do this evaluation. Now the draft report is available. It's a very high level, high quality report evidence that is available now to government. So we come here to review the content, review those findings, lesson learned and conclusion, and mostly those recommendations that government will transform to action to accelerate progress. So it is a very worthy investment Nigeria has done, because now you know what worked, what didn't work very well, why, and what can government do with all development partner, private sector, to improve the situation of citizens of Nigeria, particularly children and women. So we are very happy to support this country-led evaluation.
Participants particularly hinted that their understanding on the relevance of effective evaluation mechanisms to the strengthening of SDGs reporting in Nigeria has been enhanced.
Every project, every event, life itself is nothing without evaluation. When you are doing projects, when you are implementing programs, when you are running policies, and you do not subject them to evaluation, periodic evaluation, intermittent evaluation, you don't really make progress. Evaluation is a critical component that looks at what you have done and checks whether it has delivered on what it's supposed to deliver, and then profile ways in which more progress can be made, profile ways in which areas not well covered can be well covered, profile ways in which best practices already in existence can be adapted and spread. To that extent, the current approach by Nigeria through the Office of Special Assistant to the President on SDGs in undertaking evaluation of the SDGs is a universal world class. Now, we have done it for SDGs 3 and 4, health and education respectively. The lessons learned from them will not only improve the achievement of the SDGs mentioned, but will also serve as approach to evaluating the rest of SDGs. So it is an extremely innovative and rewarding exercise and approach, and in fact it is also innovative because this was the first time all the years of the MDGs we didn't see evaluations of each of the MDGs going on, but here we have over the past 2 years very thorough evaluation of Sustainable Development Goals 2, 3 and 4 in Nigeria. On behalf of the Nigerian Association of Evaluators and indeed all evaluators in Nigeria and their partners, we really thank the OSAP SDG, especially Her Excellency, the Senior Special Assistant, Her Excellency Princess Adefilure, and then we also thank all the other partners, UNICEF, and the rest of the organizations that played roles, and especially the team in OSAP.
Congratulations to Nigeria that this is indeed a laudable initiative that we are having for the first time. The evaluation process of the SDG-3 and SDG-4 That's health and education. Of course, those are two key pillars, in measuring the development of any nation. And then what it means is that once you evaluate, you don't evaluate yourself as a government, whether at the federal level or at the state level. That's where the independent evaluators, very reputable evaluators have been brought in to actually, conduct the process. And the beauty of it is that, yes, with evaluation, obviously there will be lessons learned. What we need to do, what you have been doing, that you are getting good results, and that means you need to do them more. And what you are doing that are not right, are not really making sure that they are not in the right path for you to achieve the sustainable development goals, the targets, the indicators and all. So evaluation will guide you and tell you, we are like a scorecard, as it were. And for Nigeria doing this, and which actually has attracted global recognition, is a good step in the right direction. Kudos to the team from the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on SDGs. And I believe that if this political will is sustained, it will be the best for all the states and indeed collectively for Nigeria as a whole, that we need to change the narrative in making sure that we have good health for our people and we have quality education for our people as well. Of course, the focus, the children, and then and the women.
The SDG is like scaling up what we are doing in the ministry. It indeed has really helped us so much because we began to look at every subsector, especially when we started with the MDGs and now the SDGs, and we began to look at the areas where indeed those proper projects had not been cascaded, and we have done so much. We have spread our wings, spread our tentacles, brought in more people, and then with the SDG telling us leave no one behind, it really has been massive.
The process leading to the production of the independent evaluation report began with a capacity building workshop for monitoring and evaluation of officers across the ministries, departments, and agencies of the government. The training, which was also targeted at strengthening the capacities of the officers that would be involved in the country-led impact evaluation of specific SDGs, was organized in collaboration with the United Nations Children Education Fund, UNICEF, and the Federal Ministry of Budget and National Planning, and was a follow-up to the Pan-African Evaluation Capacity Building Forum held in Addis Ababa in 2018, and seeks to strengthen the process for evidence-based reporting for the National Voluntary Review Report. The capacity building workshop, which was a foundation-laying process for an independent and credible evaluation of priority SDGs in Nigeria, was also, among other things, expected to develop and reinforce evaluation culture within the public sector, as well as enhance the capacity of participants in the design, methodologies, management, and delivery of high-quality reports for use.
Agenda 2030. As a successor framework for the Millennium Development Goals, the global community rolled out a bigger, deeper, and more encompassing framework called the Sustainable Development Goals, designed to transform our world, lift the poor out of poverty, as well as ensure inclusive and healthy society. On Agenda 2030, we take you on a media trip to the global destination of the future we want. With everyone on board, we focus on the people and their struggle, the civil society and their agitations, the government and her development effort, the Global Development Agenda, its 17 goals and 169 targets. We bring you all the deliberations, insightful conversations, and high-level partnerships on the road to global destination. Agenda 2030, showing on this channel. Agenda 2030, leaving no one behind.